All right. Hello, everyone. We are on the eve of the 2023 season, and this is Team 144. I just saw that on Twitter X earlier today. So this is Team 144. Let me make sure this is broadcasting to YouTube. You always have to make sure the technology is working correctly. Yep, there's the red icon. Let me click on that. All right, why don't I do this instead? Go there. Okay, let me go back to my channel. All right, now let me click on it and see what it does. All right, there we go. So there's an ad. I got 2 likes. I appreciate those likes, whoever gave them. Please shout yourselves out in the chat as you come in. I have Johnny Olden tonight. It's going to be a fun discussion. It's going to be a passionate discussion because Johnny's passionate. So let me get rid of this. So I'm going to play the intro. I made up a special one for Team 144 and the 2023 season. Afterwards, I'm going to tell a short story, and then I'm going to bring Johnny up, and we're going to hear what his forecast is for the 2023 season. So remember, as you guys come in, shout yourselves out. Let us know who's here and what you think. So national championship or bust. Can the Wolverines win the Natty this year? Hey, everyone, welcome back to Big Discussions 76 Sports. My name is Dr. Anwar Yusuf Dunbar. I am a Michigan alum. That's where I got my doctor title from, but I'm also a Michigan football fan. And so I think this is my 3rd year making Michigan football content. And I think this might be my 2nd or 3rd year having Johnny on to kick the season off. So this is we got a little bit of a tradition going here. The super chat is live. I don't like to do that a lot over on this channel, but if you want to throw something in the collection plate, my Cash App and PayPal are here. But your eyeballs are more than sufficient. So that's there. So yeah, so I'm going to the game. I'm going to the game on Saturday. I haven't been inside the big house since before COVID. So I saw the outside of the big house in June. I went back for a pharmacology minority symposium where I gave a talk with some other colleagues, but I have not been back inside the big house since before COVID. So I'm excited about that. Michigan should lay the beat down on East Carolina, but there's something about being there that's just, yeah, you just got to go and be in it. And it's been like 5 years since I've been in there. So quick story, everybody, your driver's license, your registration, if you have those things, if you've gone paperless and they're sending notifications to your email box, quick story, make sure it's an email box that you check. I got here to Western New York last week. I got my rental car, and the rental car agent said, "Happy birthday." But he said, also, your license has expired. So it turns out that unbeknownst to me, my alerts were going to an email account that I wasn't checking very often. So I'd had an expired driver's license. I was planning on driving out to Ann Arbor through Canada, and I wasn't going to get across customs with an expired driver's license. So I thought about it. I was a little bummed out on my birthday. And then the answer came to me the next morning when I was out walking. Things come to you when you're out walking. And I said, why don't I just fly back to the DMV, take care of this early in the morning, and then fly back to Buffalo. And then I can go to the game next weekend. So that's what I did. It was crazy. I've never done anything like that. So I flew back, got my driver's license, and now I'm going to the game. And a lot of my old eateries and things that I like to do in Southeastern Michigan. So there we are. So a bit of advice there. Please smash that like button on the way in. Account 22 says, go blue, smash. Kenneth Joyce says, good evening, all go blue and grab a natty. Okay, I'm going to do a few drops that I'm going to bring Johnny up. I don't want to waste too much time tonight. And I was just thinking about the history of the program earlier, and where were we last year? Last year, Cade was coming off being the Big Ten, being a Big Ten championship quarterback, and he had to answer questions about whether or not he was going to be the starter.
Do you see yourself as a starter? I know Coach Miller talked about possibly being a timeshare arrangement, kind of like a little bit similar to last year, but maybe, even at 50-50, it could be anything, you being the starter, JJ. I mean, how do you see the competition playing out? Do you see it as a competition?
Do you see it as a competition?
I'm a Big Ten championship winning starting quarterback, and that's how I see it.
Started off last year with the quarterback controversy. Coach Harbaugh did not name the starter until JJ got healthy, and he said that the quarterbacks are going to have to compete for it. And JJ outcompeted Cade in those first 3 games, and Coach Harbaugh said that JJ earned it.
Yeah, JJ, he had a near flawless performance. 11 for 12. And then 1 was dropped. That's tough to do. It's tough to do in the day of the week in practice. And I thought he had a great game. He's playing really well. We'll start JJ next week.
Is that going forward or just for
he's by merit? He's earned that. That's by performance, by merit.
Now, the prediction was that the offense would take right off as soon as JJ got in there. He did throw a deep bomb against Hawaii, and he did have some success early after securing that starting role. But the offense didn't take off the way that we all thought and hoped it would. Was it JJ, or was it the offensive coaching staff? Somehow the Wolverines made it through to the Ohio State game. Ohio State, Ryan Day, the team up north. That's what they call us.
And so in the off season, we've tried to really make sure that the guys are reminded of that game, that the coaches are reminded of that game, everybody in the building's reminded of that game, but also know that we have to move forward. We can't let that game beat us twice, but it's something we never want to have to go through again.
We can't let that game beat us twice. So we had to go down. The team had to go down to the Horseshoe. And the question was the 2021 snowfall game, was that a flash in the pan? Could our team do it again? And then lo and behold, they did. We saw the passing game click in a way that we wanted to see all season and in a way that we hadn't seen all season. So they've seen, with Blake Corum going out the week before, the offense gelled and got on a roll in ways that we had not seen that season. So you guys know what happened. We went to the Big Ten championship game. I was there. It was a convincing but kind of an ugly win. We got the berth into the college football playoff, and we all know what happened there. I'm going to ask Johnny about that when he comes up. So, quick word from Brady Hoke, then I'm going to bring up Johnny, because this Brady Hoke drop, it really, really communicates the passion for the Michigan program.
We understand what Michigan football means and what Michigan football is. We will always be about the team at Michigan. This is never going to be about Brady Hoke.
So some say this may be the best Michigan football team ever. Let's hear what Johnny Olden has to say about that, in addition to wherever else we go. Yo, what's going on, Johnny?
Yo, what's going on, bro?
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just ready for this season. Let's get it. It's been a long off season with a lot of hype.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we're gonna get to it in the questions, but same deal. A coach shopping himself around in the NFL, and friction with Ward Manuel and Santaono, and all kinds of things. Rumors about us losing recruits because he's shopping himself around the NFL, and so here we are. All right. Let's hop in. So, Johnny, welcome back. I must get this one out of the way first. Do you think the barbecue you give recruits is that big deal? Don't you think recruits would just be happy to have something to eat? They're growing boys.
There was no excuse for now. We still don't know exactly what was actually there, because I know I went off on whatever that was, that pick, but just to have that representing what was there, it was just ridiculous to me. So I feel like you're at Michigan, so you should have, if there was more than the hot dog and the tater tots and that stuff, if there was more, put it on social media, So that's just how I felt about it, But the recruits, this is big. It's big business now. It's not like back in the old days. Now it's big business. You got to come with money. You got to wine them and dine them, So you got to put your best foot forward when they're there, and also on social media, because everybody, these kids, they live on social media. So you have to represent the program, better than that, I guess.
Okay. All right. Well, if you're gonna have barbecue, you might as well, get that big old barrel thing, throw the ribs on, do it the right way, put the sauce on, smoke the meat. Yeah, what they had was like, it looked like lunch at a middle school.
Exactly. It was horrible. I was like, oh my God, we're getting roasted.
Okay. All right. Well, for what it's worth, Michigan is Michigan. It's not LSU or Ole Miss or Bama or so. All right.
We can't keep living off of that, though. I feel like.
Say what?
I feel like if they want to take that next step, you can't just keep living off of that. You know what I'm saying? That we're Michigan. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna have a barbecue? Let's have some barbecue.
Have some barbecue. Kenneth Joy. Well, Alex says, anybody want a cheeseburger in my old dog voice? That's a Menace to Society reference. Kenneth Joy says, that was a sad looking plate.
Horrible.
Okay. All right. Let's move on from the barbecue, because now I'm getting hungry. All right. Before we get on to team 144, Johnny, let's talk about the finish from last season. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but it's worth talking about, because there were things that went against us in the game, like the refs not ruling Roman Wilson's touchdown a touchdown but there were also quite a few self-inflicted wounds, and you covered those extensively in a very, very masterful way in your content. What are your thoughts on how the season ended against TCU? I feel like, because I've been asked about that, I feel like that's at the feet of the coaching staff.
Yeah, definitely. And I always get people want to go back and forth with me on this, but you have to have, once you get to the playoff, your coaching has to be great now. Like you're not going to get away with a bad game plan or not having your team ready to play and then trying to come back at halftime or something like that. You're not going to get away with it. The teams are too good and they're preparing better than you. Just like I'd say the last 2 years, Georgia's game plan against us, TCU's game plan against us, we got out coached. Now, did we? I can't say we know TCU's not really more talented than us. We just had a bad game plan. We should have probably tried to throw it down their throat, because once we decided to, we executed. But our game plan is always, we're gonna run it down your throat. We're gonna run it down your throat. And then by the time you get to the playoff, teams are like, we're not gonna let you run it down our throat. Let's see if your quarterback can beat us. And we haven't been able to do it the last 2 years.
Right. Yeah, it seems like they broke off the big one. Donovan got that big run early, and then TCU was there to meet him pretty much every time. So adjustments, game planning on that stage, someone, Harbaugh, Sharon Moore, Matt Weiss, someone should have said, okay, they've got this bottled up. That means they're giving up something else. We've got weapons. Let's spread the ball around. And you were very outspoken about they should have let JJ run earlier himself.
Yeah, definitely. Because just like Georgia's first drive, Stetson Bennett's moving around, running the ball, because you're creating confusion. Like you can't just pin your ears back on the edge and hit my running back. You have to worry about Stetson. Somebody's going to beat you. So you create confusion from the jump. You don't, okay, let's wait till halftime. We're saving that. No, make them confused and second guess themselves from the start of the game. So by the time halftime comes, they really don't know what to take away. They're going to be guessing at that point. I feel like we wait too long to do adjustments. Like some things in big games, you need to do it from the start. You don't need to, let's wait. What are we waiting for? If we lose, if the season is over, what are you waiting for? Like that's part of what makes JJ. He runs a 4.5, if not a sub 4.5 at this point.
Yeah, it seemed like, I know the team, there were some bad things that happened early, like the Khalil Mullings fumble. There was the Philly special. So there were some self-inflicted wounds early. There were some things that didn't go our way early. But even with all those bad things that happened, the team was still in position to drive the ball down the field in one more series. They hadn't been stretched like that the entire year, especially the defense. So I kind of give the players credit for sticking together and being able to kind of bring it down to that last minute. But I thought that the coaching staff. Go ahead.
I got one thing on that, because I've only rewatched it once, and when I did, I noticed something that Harbaugh's been doing. That last drive before we got it back, no urgency. No urgency. They burned so much time. So when they got it back, they killed them. They shot themselves in the foot, because no urgency to the huddle, still running it, just clock just running and running and running. So they were part of the reason that we didn't have any time at the end, because they just no urgency in the 2-minute drill. It was ridiculous, really.
You talking about the players or the coaching staff?
I guess that would go on the coaching staff and the players, or JJ, either. But from what I'm seeing, that's something with Harbaugh. he has a problem with like the 2-minute drill before the half and in the games. Like his time management is bad. You wouldn't expect it since he's been in the NFL, but it is.
Right. Yeah, I keep seeing Oluwatimi snap the ball and the ball goes over JJ's head, and that last play where they were just kind of out of sync, and that's when I said, okay, it's done. It's done. They can't. There's gonna be no Joe Montana 2-minute drill tonight.
Yeah, when they got that ball back, I didn't really have hope, honestly, because they just didn't seem like they just felt like this isn't enough time with our type of offense to get down there. Which it wasn't that much time left anyway, but you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, well, hopefully, it was, again, disappointing that we had the better team, the more talented team, and then to see that was disappointing. But the core of the team is back. So, assuming they stay healthy, let's see if they can build on it. Oh, we got an ECU fan in here. He says, I'm an ECU fan. God help me.
Yeah,
you have courage for coming in here, Mr. ECU fan. All right. What I talked about this briefly. What are your thoughts on Jimmy shopping himself around again last year, and now the suspension? The suspension is over something stupid, right? It's like for getting recruits burgers.
Burgers, and then we were in quarantine or whatever during the pandemic, and they were doing like Zoom calls and stuff with these players and kind of coaching them through some drills and stuff that I guess they weren't supposed to be doing at that time. And then Harbaugh lied about buying the kid a burger or something. So it's real. It's nothing egregious if you just really think about it. It's like, really? This, like, it's not like it's money or something, really money or anything involved. It's just little rules that they broke, and Harbaugh, I guess, didn't tell the truth about it or something.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
From what they say.
This shopping himself in the NFL thing, do you think that's going to be, I think if they win it this year, I think he would definitely do it again. But do you think this is something we'll see every year?
I'm kind of numb to it at this point because we can't control it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's his choice. That's his life. We can't control it. We're having the best seasons that we've had in 20 years or something. So I'm just kind of numb to it. I mean, it's annoying just because Ohio State fans and our rivals, they go crazy about it. You're losing your coach, Harbaugh's leaving, he's going, and then he comes back, and then we stomp a mud hole in him, and then they back to, he's gonna leave, he's gonna be suspended, he's gonna leave, and then but it bothers me a little bit, but we can't really do anything. So I'm just numb to it at this point. I mean, I would say it doesn't hurt recruiting, but it does because all the other schools are saying, do you know if Harbaugh will be there? Do you know if he'll be there? So that's the downfall of it, is recruits.
Okay. Everyone, if you haven't, please hit that like button. Get those likes into double digits. That would help me out a whole lot. All right. So let's talk about Team 144. So people are excited about Team 144. So I'll go first. So if they stay healthy at the key positions, I don't see why Michigan won't three-peat as Big Ten champions again. Well, I guess that would be just one three-peat. I don't see why they won't three-peat as Big Ten champs. What are your thoughts on the prospect of their winning the Big Ten again?
Just like you said, pretty much. I mean, the team is loaded pretty much everywhere. The thing that can hold them back is injuries at a certain key position. Some positions they can take injuries, probably like offensive line or maybe safety. I know Rod Moore and Makari Page are both dinged up already, but that's going to be big. If you lose an injury at the wrong position, it could really hurt us. But besides that, they got a team they should make it back to the Big Ten championship. It's playing Ohio State I'm always about to have a heart attack because they have the talent and the offensive scheme for the most part to do something to get against us. But you never know. You never know. Penn State looks good, but I don't trust their quarterback yet. First time starter. We got to see what he looks like. I know he's getting a lot of hype, but you got to prove it to me before I just think they're gonna come out and beat us, because they're trying to play like Michigan. So it's like you really got to have the dogs to do it better than Michigan.
Hey, you guys, yes, a three-peat, like Jordan and the Bulls, three-peat, winning 3 in a row. It's within reach.
Yeah. 3 Big Ten championships. 3 years as King of the North.
That's right, the King of the North. Very creative that you use that. All right, let's see. So we're likely to see a bunch of players declare for the NFL draft next year, especially if they win out. JJ included. So we just talked about the offense and the team this year. What do you expect to see out of JJ this year? Do you think they're going to turn him loose, or are we going to get the same 3 yards in a cloud of dust? Because we got the two backs back there. We got Donovan and Blake, and they both have the ability to bust off long runs. What do you think?
With Blake and Donovan, I like to call it 60 yards in a cloud of smoke now. But
that's even better.
But JJ's this is the year for him to actually let him loose and to realize, like, we have a team that's full of talent. We're loaded. Super seniors, juniors, some young freshmen that can make impacts. Like, this is the year, because you're going to lose a ton of these dudes to the NFL next year, this year, like even Harbaugh said. So you have to maximize. it. You've went to the playoff twice. You tried it. Your normal Harbaugh ball. I'm going to run it down your throat. We're going to run it. No matter what type of team we're going against, we're going to try to run it. You've seen it doesn't work. It's not going to work in the playoff. You have to throw that rock around. So I'm just hoping that he understands it, because Harbaugh's very stubborn, but he'll change once he's failed multiple times in a row, like Don Brown and, different things. He just has to keep failing. Then he'll change. I'm thinking he sees the writing on the wall, like, I actually got a chance if I turn this dude loose to win this championship. Because if we play Georgia, you're not beating the Georgia by running the ball. Nobody has beaten them running it. Everybody throws it on them. That's the only way you can beat them, really. So that's if they're there, which they probably will be. You're gonna have to throw that rock to beat them, or to even have a chance.
Right. Yeah, and you've stated this numerous times on your channel. Start throwing the ball early. Start throwing the ball against some of this lesser competition. Don't wait until you need to do it to know how to do it. Start doing it early, and that's what they need to do.
Exactly.
And if they get in the playoff, they need to have all those plays queued up. They need to have all those options queued up so that they know that they can do it. I think going into Columbus last year, none of us really knew that would happen.
I think we were all kind of nervous. I think we were all nervous, because I know I didn't expect it, but I didn't expect them dudes to also be kind of wide open like that post corner post. He's got like 15, 20 yards. But what impressed me was how JJ stepped up in the pocket on that one. And also, what was that? The one, the Loveland. Yeah, the step up, and also the backpedaling, throws that dime to Cornelius for the first touchdown. Like, those are big time plays. Like, I think people take for granted what he did on those plays just right there, because he could have easily got scared, got flustered, tried to run out the pocket, but he steps up, throws a dime when the pocket was collapsing on him. Steps up and throws dime, big time plays.
And we also saw JJ's total game in that matchup too, because there are a couple times when he tucked the ball and he just ran it himself.
Yes, sir. In that third quarter, when we really went back to kind of hardball ball, like we're about to grind y'all out. They had that super long drive that really kind of put it away before Donovan, took those long ones. But that long drive from the end of the third to the early fourth quarter when JJ ran it in, just ground him out, and he was making plays with his legs. I feel like that just big games, that has to be the game plan. Like, we're going to use this kid. Like, we can't, what are we holding him back? Because if we lose this game, all your goals can go down the drain pretty much, There's no guarantee that if you can lose a Big Ten game and then still make the playoff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we're going to walk through the schedule before we wrap up. So see if there are any trap games in there. I want to shout out Snowman Multimedia. Everyone, if you haven't, go over and sub Snowman. He's putting in work every day. Lots of humor over there, lots of sports knowledge. The LeBron fans might not agree with everything that they say over there, but Snowman does good work. So thank you for stopping through, Snowman. I'm going to read some more. We have some Buckeye smack going on here in the chat. Account 22 says OSU will be losing a lot of recruits after losing 3 in a row to Michigan. Okay. They've got that game circled. I know they do. Wow. What would it be like for Ryan Day to lose 3 straight? I mean, he came in laying the beat down on Jim. He took the keys from Herb. What would it be like for him to lose 3 straight to us?
He's going to be looking I think OSU fans are going to be looking at him sideways. They try to act like they don't care because they made the playoffs still last year, but that's not likely to happen even this year again. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to be definitely on the hot seat. I don't see how he couldn't be, unless you just don't take the game serious like that anymore. But they've been winning for so long. You have to feel some type of way because the alumni, the fans, everybody's going to like, bro, what do you do? Like, you got a program loaded. You come in here and you messing it up. Like, we gave you the Ferrari and you getting flat tires. You crashed. What's going on? You ain't taking care of the inside. What's going on with this dude? So yeah, he best be trying to win that game this year for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. Account 22 says Buckeye fans are delusional, grasping at straws. Alexander says same way the team up north fans talk after losing 15 plus years in a row. We lose 2 and y'all talking. I'll read a few more. Raheem Gaines says Michigan quit the rivalry in 2020 and reset themselves. It is what it is. Props. Okay. Some of these guys during the COVID year, they say we quit. Stephen Cherry says, how's that development worked out in the playoffs? I'll skip down to this one, then we'll go back to the questions. 111 says, the Buckeyes have the talent and the scheme and the tradition. We have Brutus. No way we lose in Ann Arbor this year. Not going to happen. Sorry, blue folks. All right. They're calling their shots. No 3-peat.
That's what they say. I mean, They got to Buckeyes and Ryan Day. They got to figure out how to score 30 on Michigan. They 27 2 years ago, 23 last year. Is it going to be 20 this year? We going to hold y'all to 20? 20 piece?
All right. So let's see. So we know who our starting quarterback is. We've got two talented backs. The offensive line will most likely, again, be nice and stout like it was. Let's talk about the wide receiver core. So you got Cornelius, you got Roman, who's going to be wearing the number 1. He thinks he's elite.
I'm glad to see it's back.
All right. So Andrew Anthony left. Who's under those two guys? We got Darius Clemens, right?
You got Darius Clemens. They're acting like he's been in and out with some type of injury, but they're saying Tyler Morris is probably going to be that third receiver or that third starter.
Okay. Are you skeptical of Ronald Bellamy? Because he took a lot of heat for the wideouts not getting the separation.
Yeah, I don't trust him right about now. And honestly, I feel like he probably should be replaced. I think we could have a better receiver coach that could probably get more out of these dudes. So
Okay.
I've been looking at him sideways for about 2 years. Yeah.
Okay. Because he was a decent wideout. I mean, he wasn't the number 1. He played under Terrell and Marquise Walker, but he played good enough to get in the NFL at least for a little while.
Yeah.
Do you know why Andrew Anthony left? Did he just feel like he wasn't getting enough time, or he wasn't getting developed, or
It's probably development, and he didn't get many. I'm not gonna lie and act like he got a lot of opportunities, but when he did, he didn't do anything with them also. And that could be because JJ missed spring, and the pass game, as we know, wasn't on the same page for most of the year. But when he did get opportunities, he didn't make the most of them. And we don't throw it a lot also. So with Cornelius and Roman coming back, and who knows what young player would step up. So Andrell, he still would have been the third or fourth receiver, even though he did get some playing time because he was a good blocker also. But I think it was probably best he's like, let me go somewhere where I know I'm going to get opportunities, not just a few, but a lot of opportunities.
okay? Yeah, I thought after Cade hit him on that crossing route against Michigan State, I was like, okay, we got something here. This kid's gonna give us something for years to come.
Yep. I think we all thought we had something.
Okay, you know who I can't wait to see more of Colston Loveland. I think he's gonna be JJ's. I'll just say his Jay Novacek. I'll just say that. I like Colston's game.
Yeah, Colston is a beast. I just hopefully he's getting better, and they acting like he's catching everything in camp from what I'm hearing, So he's kind of a mismatch nightmare because he's fast and he's also huge. So linebacker, safety, you kind of pick your poison. It doesn't really matter. You can try to put a corner on him, but he's probably going to be too small. So he's a mismatch nightmare.
Okay. So are there any other players or position groups that you have your eye on this year? You did a really good video on the defense. What are you seeing on that side of the ball?
On defense, I'm waiting to see who's that corner's gonna be. I mean, that's the one question on the defense is who's gonna be that other corner on the other side of Will Johnson. Is it going to be Wallace, or is it going to be McBurrows, or one of the younger guys that really hasn't played that much? I kind of want McBurrows to play because he's physical. And that's what I was talking about on one of those other videos, is how the defense doesn't have that physical, imposing nature to it like And I know people are going to say you can't compare them to Georgia, but I mean, that's the blueprint right now, or Georgia or Bama or any defense that even Iowa kind of has that physical kind of imposingness to them. It's like our defense was more off scheme. I want to see that physical nature, and I think we need it at all the positions. Basically, the D-line, they're physical, but we need that physicality at linebacker, hopefully with Hausman and Junior Colson adding weight. So he's more of a thumper this year. But Will Johnson, we know he'll hit. You get McBurrows on that other side hitting with Rod Moore at safety, who added weight so he can be more physical. Makari Page. Now you might have something as far as a physical, imposing defense. We're going to be on the same page. But now it's time to make guys worried. Like, do I really want to? They second guessing themselves coming across the middle and not trying to run through everybody. They're worried about somebody coming and knocking them out. So I'm hoping McBurrows gets that job if he's ready, But besides that, the defense is just kind of low to me, and I'm ready to see. I'm hoping that they've taken that step, honestly.
Okay. I was thinking earlier, man, after what happened against TCU, we might have to bring Brad Hawkins back for another year of eligibility. So Johnny, so we know that the offensive coaching staff made some missteps against TCU. What did you think happened to the defense? Were they put out there too much? Were they just never in that position all year? What do you think happened to the defense in that game?
I'm gonna say the action is every action has a reaction. So the action is we couldn't get a pass rush. That's the main action. We could not get we couldn't get a pass rush at all. We had to blitz. Now the reaction was Max Duggan understanding that we had to blitz, but entrusting his receivers, he's going to get open. I just got to buy time. Similar to JJ on that first touchdown to Cornelius. I'm not going 3-step and drop. I'm just going to keep backpedaling. There he is. Boom. And that's how they got their first touchdown. He was just backpedaling, waiting for that crossing route. Boom, there he is. Hit him. You know what I'm saying? And from then on, we just could not get a consistent pass rush. We had to blitz. Whether it was a pass or a run, when we blitzed, they hit us in certain situations. Like they weren't just executing on first down and stuff like that. It was those crucial third downs where they would break us. Like we're sitting there like, okay, we get this one stop. We're back in this game. Boom. Touchdown. It's like, oh my God, like, come on. But, once you have to blitz, it puts your secondary out there. You don't have as many guys in the secondary to make tackles and make plays. So,
yeah,
let's just hope we got a good pass rush this year.
A good pass rush this year. So we lost Mike Morris, right? And Iabi Oki, he transferred out. And Mozzie went to the NFL. So that who do we have on the line? Chris Jenkins,
Mason Graham, Rashawn Benny, Kenneth Grant, Cam Goody's back, and then on the edge we have Jalen Harrell's back, Braden McGregor's back. Let's hope he's finally ready to reach his full potential. Derek Moore, sophomore year. Should be ready. And who's the other edge? Josiah Stewart, the transfer from East Carolina. He looked like a stud in the spring game, and he looks the part, which to me, that's half the battle. If you look the part, that tells me you've been putting in the work in the weight room and you're ready to take it from the practice field to the game field. Similar to Aiden. Aiden's, and this isn't a comparison, I'm just talking about body types. When Aiden came back that 2021, his body looked like I'm ready. You know what I mean? And Josiah Stewart kind of has that look like he's in great shape to put up some sack numbers, because football, you have to have your body on point. You have to push it.
Okay. I'm going to read a few more of these comments here. Let's see. Playing UConn, Honolulu, and wondering why they holding L's in the playoffs. So, are you a fan of the scheduling where you're front loading it with cupcakes and?
I don't mind it right now because it's gotten us where we're at right now, going to back-to-back playoffs. Yeah, you can say, "Oh, you lost in the playoffs." You're an Ohio State fan. We just stomped you on the way to the playoff. We stomped you. You don't forget that. So, but we're rebuilding the program, so I don't mind it. Let's say we played Notre Dame or something. That's a chance for us to lose. So let's say we lost to Notre Dame 2021. We lose to Michigan State. We probably win the Big Ten, but we wouldn't have went to the playoff with 2 losses. That's just an opportunity for us to lose. So I know people gonna say, "Oh, this week and stuff," but bro, we're rebuilding our program to where we want it to be. So I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it at all, because next year we got to play Texas, we got to play UCLA, we got to play USC, and we got to play Ohio State. Give me a break.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Jay Marion has a interesting comment here. He says, "Yeah, OSU's offensive line is in trouble. They talk about it every day here in Ohio." So I don't know how credible that is, but if that's true, then it sounds like their offense is still a little bit under construction.
Yeah, I guess they lost 3 offensive linemen. I think 2 of them were starters, I believe.
Okay. So account 22 says 64.6% completion percentage last year for JJ. Johnny, let me ask you this. My usual road dog, Alex, he's pretty a little hard on JJ. Do you he's clearly more talented than Cade was.
Definitely.
In terms of his physical abilities and his measurables, his ability to get away from the rush and create things. Do you think JJ is a Heisman caliber quarterback? Do you think he could play at the next level?
I think he can. It's just he has to show it, and that's not all on him. One, he has to have the coaching to level up. If Harbaugh and the staff aren't coaching him to get better, then it's hard for him to show that. He has to have the reps. JJ don't get a lot of reps in the game, at least not these last 2 years. 15 throws sometimes, 20, 22. It's not a lot of reps at all for a starting quarterback in 2023. You know what I'm saying? So he's got the tools. I just think he needs the reps to actually see these defenses out there, just reps. That's why, and this is one thing I give Ryan Day credit for somewhat. He's going to let his starter get a ton of reps. Even when he should probably be sitting on the sideline, he's going to let him stay in so he can see as many different defenses, as many different blitzes, all these different coverages. He's seeing it, so he's repped, and he's going to be prepared. Harbaugh just doesn't get down like that. But now that's someone on JJ. This is what's on JJ, though. The awkward running around at certain, just trying to do anything, that Brett Favre type of, that gunslinger. You got to calm down. you got to calm down, son. If you turn that rock over, Harbaugh going to say, "All right, that's enough of that. Blake, Donovan, take us home."
Yeah.
Harbaugh's not going to play that. You have to take care of the ball and make smart decisions for Harbaugh to really give him the reins. He'll do it, but you have to be smart and make good decisions.
Yeah, you could see a few times last year after JJ won the job. He run over to the sidelines and Harbaugh, we slumped over like, why did you do that?
What are you doing?
Like the safe play. Yeah. You saw that Brett Favre, Mike Holmgren, just throw it away type thing.
Yeah. Just live to the next play, or JJ, he also did this, and he said he watched a lot of film and noticed that he did this. A lot of the times he could have got yards with his legs, and he would hesitate or try to, sit back there and wait for the bigger plays when he could have got first downs. He also said he's going to try to be smarter with that because you're leaving yards. Know the down and distance. The most important thing is the first down. Keep the chains moving. Then you get your opportunities for big plays. Get another set of downs. Then you can get the big play. Not, there's a thin line. Sometimes you can take it. Sometimes it's best to, all right, let me get this first down. I'll get him on this next set of downs.
Okay. Well, I'll give it to JJ in that Illinois game, and I think Khalil Mullings. I thought once Blake, hurt his knee, and I thought, yeah, they well, in addition to Jake Moody, they gutted that one out. I don't know if that's the right term, but I didn't when Blake went out with his knee. I wasn't feeling good about that game. And even when JJ and the center, whoever that was, put the ball on the turf and he picked it up and he rolled out and he completed it, I was like,
that Brett Favre, they did. That was a good gutsy win because that Illinois defense, that secondary was something serious. Just the defense in general, those dudes were flying around. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet Blake this year. I remember he did leap up on that play. He's got to be thinking about protecting himself this year, and not doing that where someone can, run into your knee like that.
Yeah. I honestly, on that play, I thought Colston Loveland
missed the block.
Yeah, that's how I felt like that was his block, but the angles and stuff, it might not have been, but that's what it looked like to me.
Okay. Now the other player we're gonna miss is Jake Moody. So hopefully our kicker, because Jake Moody kept us in a lot of games, and Jake Moody won a lot of games for us.
Yeah, Jake Moody, that's Mr. Reliable. You got a kicker that you can trust from 50 and in. You might as well count it. Like that's big. But hopefully we got a freshman, and then a highly touted freshman, and then they got a transfer that's seasoned. I want to say Maryland, but I don't think that's right. It's some other team I think he transferred from, but he's seasoned and he's not a bad. He's a pretty good kicker from the stats that I saw.
Okay, I'm going to read over a few more of these comments, and then we'll wrap up. Let's see. Account 22 says, imagine losing 45-23 at home with the number 2 pick in the draft and thinking you will be better this year. Okay. Steve Cherry says, trap game with that schedule. Well, Steve Cherry, we're going to go over the schedule in a moment. PJ Graham says, we're going to make you coachless in November. Bring your snowsuit and tell Ryan Day to bring his third base.
Yeah.
Let's see. 111. I think he's a Buckeye fan. He said, it's not imagination. We're going to beat you guys this year, no doubt. Let's see. Losing 3 straight to Michigan means he's on the hot seat. Let's see. There's a lot of trash talk here. Before I go on to the next question, Johnny, what have you heard about this new kid they recruited, the Jaden Davis kid? Is he?
From what I see, I see some things that I like about him. He's just a kid, so he's He's not that big. I think he's like 6'1". Hopefully he'll grow a little more. He's more of a pocket passer, but he's putting up some numbers, but he's kind of he'll let it fly. He'll throw it up into contested, and in the coverage. So sometimes I was watching some clips. He'll throw that thing up on 2 and 3 defenders. You know what I'm saying? I guess he trusts his receivers, but with Harbaugh, we know he's gonna coach that out of him. But he's got a nice something to really work with, honestly.
Okay.
At least that's what I think. I know Yoder was saying, we need to get somebody else, but I think the kid's got something to work with, honestly.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we both agree that assuming the Wolverines stay healthy at their key positions this year, they should three-peat. And if they get back in the playoff, the coaching staff is going to be the difference as to whether or not they can advance to the title game. That's game planning. That's making adjustments.
Exactly.
That's not calling dumb plays.
No.
So it sounds like the X factor is going to be the coaching staff.
Because and I know people say we're not Georgia, but I like to use them as an example because they've got so much more talent. Like even TCU game, they had way more talent than TCU. But the game plan was still awesome. It was still a great game plan to use what TCU does. They want to play fast and fly around on defense to make up for being undersized. Okay, if you're flying around over here, misdirection. You're confused because you're just flying this first time you see a ball. Oh, play fake, you're out of position. So I think it's just beautiful to see a team with all that talent still take the game plan that serious. And that's why you get a score where they could have scored 100 on them because the game plan was just perfect for what TCU wanted to do on defense.
Yeah. Okay, so Steve Dace over at the Michigan podcast, we're going to take a look at the rankings really quickly and then the schedule, then we'll wrap up. But he said something very profound with Mark Rogers. He said every third year, Bama is title ready. So my question to you was going to be, with Stetson Bennett gone, I mean, they still have the Brock Bowers 6'7" tight end. I think they probably have another big kid too. Can Michigan do it? Can they go all the way?
That's the question. And just like we were talking about coaching and game planning, that's huge. But also I have to see how they use JJ this year. If they come out with the same type of thing that we're used to seeing, we can make it there. But do I just think we'll beat them? Like, no, because we're not coming with a good enough game plan to beat them. It's like, bro, you have to throw that rock to beat these teams. They're even Georgia or Bama. I highly doubt we can just run it down Bama's throat because their defense is supposed to be loaded this year. So they have to get him ready for the playoff. Like it's everything this year. Like you have to have this dude ready to shred teams in the playoff. So but if he's coming out and he's showing that he's progressed and he's gotten better in his he's taking care of the ball, he's making the right decisions with his arm, with his legs, then yeah. And also on defense, if we're getting a consistent pass, we don't have to blitz to get a pass rush. We might have something. We might have something. Because even if your defense gives up 35 points, can you score 40? can you score? If you can score 40, it don't matter. They gave up 35.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let's take a quick look at the rankings. And the rankings, anything could change that first week. But right now they've got us at number 2.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the CBS rankings. Oh, come on, StreamYard. There it is. There we go. All right. Actually, I'll switch us to this one. This view. So we're looking at it side by side. There we go. Okay. So for both the top 25 and the coaches poll, Georgia's number 1. I'll just do the first 10. Georgia's number 1. We're number 2. The AP top 25 has Ohio State at number 3. The coaches poll has Alabama at number 3. The top 25 has Bama at number 4. LSU is number 5 in both polls. USC is number 6 in both polls. Penn State is number 7 in both polls. Florida State's number 8 in both polls. Clemson is 9 in both. And then Washington and Tennessee are different in the different polls. Okay. So the only disagreement right now is is Ohio State and Alabama. Now let's take a quick look at the Michigan football schedule and see if there are any potential losses in there prior to Thanksgiving weekend. All right, East Carolina should be a slam dunk.
Yes, sir.
UNLV should be a slam dunk. Bowling Green, slam dunk.
Mm-hmm.
We probably will not get the Rutgers game we got 2 years ago when Cade was quarterbacking.
Yeah, not likely.
That was a painful game. They won it somehow. Nebraska, I'm going to try to go to that one. I don't know how good Nebraska is this year.
They got what's the coach from Iowa State, Matt Rule?
Oh, do they?
I believe.
Okay.
Isn't that who? Or did they get Purdue's coach? I'm not sure. I'm getting confused now.
Let me see if I click on that. There's the circle spinning.
Let me see real quick.
Okay. Well, I don't like looking at a spinning circle for too long, so I'm going to go back.
Yeah, it's Matt Rule. Yeah, from Iowa State.
Matt Rule?
Yeah.
Okay. The week after that, the Wolverines go up to Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about Minnesota, honestly.
Mm-hmm. The week after that, the Wolverines host Indiana.
Mm-mm. Should be cool.
Then October 21st, they go up to East Lansing. So certainly, it's interesting. Mel Tucker had those that handy win against us in the COVID year, and then the next year, the 2021 season. I think the difference in that game was the strip sack, because that gave them life, and then Kenneth Walker went crazy in the second half. But as of now, the pendulum seems to have swung. If last year is any predictor going forward.
Yeah, it always worries me a little bit, just because I get nervous before these games, like I'm playing in them or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Michigan State shouldn't be a problem. It's just, we've had those years where something crazy happens against them. So, the punt, when we dominated that game, it shouldn't have been that close, honestly. That year, the Kenneth Walker year, when we dominated them and we just found a way to lose it, and Kenneth Walker goes crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it shouldn't be. Honestly, we should blow them out.
Yeah.
We should.
So there's a bye week, and then we host Purdue. November 11th, the Wolverines go up to Happy Valley. I might try to go to that one since it's within a couple hours drive of the DMV. I've never been up to Happy Valley.
That'd be nice.
That's Johnny, that's got to be a potential based upon the atmosphere and based upon that should be a concerning game for our fan base.
Oh yeah, it's a concern, and it seems like they've built their team like a Michigan team with a strong defense, running the ball, 2 good backs, and then your young quarterback, your young star quarterback. But they're a little behind at it because Michigan's got the offensive line that's back-to-back Joe Moore Award winners, so that puts us ahead because you can try to run it. Your running game is only really as good as your offensive line is. It's the same with your with your throw game. If your offensive line isn't dominant, it's going to be hard to dominate in the run or in the throw game.
Right. Let me just give me a second here. Everyone, please smash that like button if you haven't. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. All right. So the week after Penn State, they come to the DMV. So I will absolutely go to that game. They're playing Maryland, and I think
the game that I'm worried about.
Sorry,
that's the game I'm worried about
because Tua's brother's still there, right?
Yeah, and he's got some dog in him. Last year he was getting first downs and scoring touchdowns. He's screaming, and he's got some dog in him. He was really mad he got knocked out of that game.
Yes. And there was, admittedly, as a Michigan fan, there was one play where Talia didn't see a man wide open right there in the middle of the field.
Mm-hmm.
And if he made that completion, that could have swung the momentum of the game. So, yeah, it's going to be in his house now. Probably going to have revenge on his mind. So, yeah. So some concerning games right there at the end of the schedule.
Yeah. Maryland, just because Mike Locksley, he knows how to scheme up great plays. Like his offensive game plans are very good. We saw him shred. They shredded OSU last year. Gave us some headaches. He's good at what he does, honestly.
Okay.
Oh, they got Josh Gaddis now.
Oh, that's right. Josh is making the rounds, man.
Miami got him out of there.
Okay. And then Thanksgiving weekend, the big game.
Yes, sir.
In our house, and Ohio State with a first-year starting quarterback. So conventional wisdom says we should win that one, but it's at the end of the regular season, and at that point, unfortunately, injuries creep in. I didn't take a look at your video saying the game should be at the beginning of the season. You want to say a few words about that?
Oh, yeah. So my point on the game being at the beginning of the first game of the year is because what makes the game so special is it comes at the end of the year. Like you play that whole season knowing your best competition, your biggest rival is at the end of the year. You get all the hype. So I don't want it 3 games before the end of the year or 5 games before the end of the year or in the middle of the year or no. I think to make it special like it and to give it the respect it deserves, you either have it first or you have it last. So if they don't want to have it last, make it first. Because what would we have been talking about all offseason? We got to be ready for Ohio State. Ohio State's thinking the same thing. We got Michigan right out the gate. We have to be ready for Michigan. Michigan, we got to be ready for Ohio State. It's going to make the offseason even better because all you're going to be thinking about is that big time rivalry, the first game of the year. Similar, I mean, it's not that close, but remember we used to play Notre Dame the first game of the year sometimes. And all that hype for that game. Now just imagine playing Ohio State the first game. I don't really like it in the middle. I think it needs to be first or last. Just to keep that energy of all right, we starting the season off. We going at it. We going at it. The game. First game of the year. Let's go.
But Johnny, that's kind of what's exciting about how it is now is because, both teams are kind of banged up towards the end. And, there's so much anticipation going in as to, well, who's going to be the last man standing.
Yeah. But they've already moved it. So next year we play them I think USC is the last game. I think Ohio State is the third to last game of the year. So they've already moved it. So I guess we'll see how it feels, But I just think to give it the attention and everything it deserves, if you're gonna move it, put it as the first game of the year.
Okay.
You got the whole offseason to be ready. Ain't no excuses. Both teams fresh. Ain't no warm-up. You're going to get a warm-up. You're going to get your warm-up. So I just feel like, and honestly, to make it even more amazing, I might put it on a Thursday or a Friday night right before the season is starting.
Okay.
That's just how I think it. Give the game the respect it deserves. Everybody watching.
Okay. All right. Well, Johnny, I'm pretty much at the end here. I don't have any more questions for you unless you have any parting thoughts. But before I ask you that, so we've got UCLA coming in, we've got USC coming in. I've heard rumors that we're moving towards 2 conferences like the NFL has. Have you heard that too?
Yeah. I made a video about that. Was that last year or 2 years ago or something? That's what they're heading to. It's SEC, Big Ten, basically like AFC, NFC in the NFL, except they're going to make these conferences so big and then they're going to try to get away from the NCAA.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. That's the plan.
So college football will then be its own thing.
Yeah, pretty much because the NCAA doesn't really know what they're doing. I mean, if we just think about what they do, they have us scratching our heads a lot. Like, what is this? The Harbaugh stuff of Tennessee, they were just giving money out like crazy. Slap on the wrist, it's like, what are y'all doing? Y'all pick and choose. They took Reggie's Heisman, now it's all cool now, what's going on? Like, you got certain Texas A&M, they throwing the bag at everybody. Doesn't really matter. Next year, the players all transfer. It's like, what's going on?
Okay. All right. Well, everyone, so once again, the Big Ten championship game, that's going to be the week after the game. And well, it sounds like this is going to be the last year, at least for now, that the game will be the last regular season game. Yep. So, hey, enjoy this year because things are changing.
Every year something changing.
They're changing it on us. Okay, Johnny, do you have anything else? I want to respect your time. We're at 1 hour 15 minutes. Do you have anything else? Any predictions? Any thoughts?
I'm just ready for the season. Honestly, seems like the off season it's been long. I've went through a lot of Ohio State content. I watch a lot of their content and stuff, and I'm all filled up on content, just watching the talking, everybody talking about this player and that. I'm filled up with it. Like, now I just want to see the team play, so then we can make our own. We can see exactly what's going on, who's starting, who's not starting, who's not healthy, who did they say was going to be contributing, and they see no playing time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just ready to see it now, see some actual football, so we can make our own prediction on what the season will be. And I'm just ready. I'm ready to see this team. 144, right?
144.
Yes, sir. I'm ready to see it now.
Just ready. We're gonna see if they got better.
Exactly. Every day you got the chance to get better.
Get better. Tackle, hit. Don't be afraid.
Man, exactly. Hopefully there's Junior Colson is out there hitting this year.
Yeah.
No more arm tackling.
And Michael Barrett. I remember a play last year where Michael Barrett kind of just waited for the guy.
Yeah.
Run up on him. So
make the first move. Make the first move.
Okay. I'm going to read this last one. Jay Burke says, there's no reason to believe Ohio State won't be fine at quarterback. Quarterback has never been the problem lately. Won't matter anyway if the defense doesn't improve. Yeah, it's McCord. Alex told me it's Kyle McCord.
Let me cook Ohio State real quick.
Go for it.
Because this is what kills me about Ohio State fans. And this ain't all of y'all, but y'all say the defense, y'all blame the defense. And this is strictly talking about Michigan, Ohio State. Y'all blame the defense, but last year you scored 23 against Michigan. You only scored 3 points in the second half. So if the defense would have held Michigan to 26, you still would have lost. So you blaming the defense, and nobody really blames C.J. Stroud. The goal of a quarterback, no matter if he throws for 400 yards, is to get touchdowns. I don't care if J.J. throws for 200 yards, but he's got 4 touchdowns against C.J.'s 2, who really played better. He put up 28 points. Your quarterback put up 14 points. Do the math. Michigan is letting Ohio State quarterbacks get fluff yards. 20-20, you're eating us up. You're in the red zone. Kick a field goal. Ryan Day gets antsy, goes for it on 4th. You get nothing. And we're doing it. It's 2 years in a row and y'all ain't realized what's going on. He played pretty good. He had 400 yards. You scored 27. You averaged 40. You averaged 40-something points. You scored 27. Then you come back with 23. Ryan Day and C.J. Stroud get a lot of that blame. You're averaging 40, and you score in the 20s. It ain't just the defense.
All right, Buckeye fan, there you go. Johnny was at the grill cooking a little bit. Turning the meat. He was barbecuing y'all a little bit. There you go. All right. Well, everyone here knows where to find you, Johnny. So I'm not going to say go to Johnny's channel because everybody knows where to find you. But thanks for coming and gracing my channel again before kickoff. Before the season's up, I'd like to have you back, and I'll be watching for your expert analysis of how the season is going.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you asking me to join. I love doing these collabs because I get tired of just talking to myself into the camera.
Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, Ohio State backed in. Ohio State was the beneficiary of USC's loss. last
Definitely.
year. The playoff committee would punish them for not playing in a conference championship. Yeah, I was surprised to see them get in last
Yeah,
year.
definitely. They backed in, but now they think they can do that again this year. It's just not likely. Even if we lose, I don't think we'll get in. If we lose to, we're both undefeated and we lose to Ohio State, I don't think we'll get in because I think there's going to be more teams with one loss, and they're going to lose early, so they got the chance to make rebuild their resume, not lose the last game of the year fresh off a loss. All right, so it's best to lose early normally. Ohio State got very lucky last year with USC losing, and then Bama actually having 2 losses for once. How many times does that happen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, Clemson being down last year.
So, Jay, I have to address this. He said, we don't need a Cadillac at quarterback to win a national title. Anybody remember Craig Krenzel from Michigan? Nothing pretty about it. Just get it done, baby. So, Jay, a couple things lined up just right for you guys that year. You guys got Maurice Clarett at running back. You guys,
unbelievable.
You guys didn't play the other undefeated team in the Big Ten in Brad Banks' Iowa team. And you guys were the beneficiary of 2 close calls. One, Braylon Edwards offensive pass interference call, and then you guys were the beneficiary of that Chris Gamble offensive pass interference call against that Miami player. So things lined up just right.
That was a long time ago, too.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago, bro.
Yeah. All right. Well, everyone, I'm going to wind this down. Everyone, if you're new, please subscribe. Please smash the like button, especially, smash the like button. Please subscribe, especially if you're new. Did I say subscribe? I'm tired. Subscribe. Please subscribe, especially if you're new. That helps with the engagement. I'll be doing mostly Michigan football this fall, though it looks like I will be weaving in some Buffalo Bills as well with some other collaborators. If you want to donate to the channel, my Cash App and PayPal are below. You can leave a super thanks to. The link to my newsletter is below as well. And with that, everyone, go blue. As always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. I will be at the game on Saturday, so if any of you, Dre Ellerby, I saw you in the chat there. If you're there and you guys want to, I don't know, I'll be there. Hit me up through my community tab. Send me an email. I will be at the big house on Saturday. So with that, everyone, have a good night, and I will talk to you again soon. All right. Bye-bye.
Go blue.
Let me end this.